Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today I will be budgeting out this week's paycheck, which is $361.16. If you are new, welcome. My name is Alex. I'm a single mom to one beautiful daughter named Savannah. She is 12 years old and I'm 33 years old, and we live in the state of Wisconsin. I'm currently saving up for a house. I'm an independent contractor. I shop and deliver groceries to customers, so if you're a gig worker, you could probably relate to my budget. My paychecks are very inconsistent, and that is why I love using the cash envelope system, because it helps me budget out each week's paycheck, helps me stay on track. Honestly, this method has helped me save the most amount of money so far, so I hope to inspire others to try out the cash envelope system if you have not yet, or just make a budget plan in general. All right, so let's get started. This week's paycheck, $361.16. If you didn't notice, this is actually very similar to my last paycheck, which is very unfortunate because this week I did not take any days off. It was just extremely slow. It's kind of a bit alarming considering the fact that this was the week before Christmas. So I'm really hoping next week goes a bit better. So let's just discuss the income. I made $150 from child support, and then again, my paycheck is $361.16. In total, that is $511.16. However, I do not like to count on child support, so I put that into savings right away. So 150 into savings, and then I take 15% of my paycheck and I also put that into savings as well, which is $54.17 this week. So that leaves me with $306.99. And then I have to factor in my bills. I get paid weekly, so I figure out what my bills are weekly, which is $232. After that, I am left with $74.99. So watch me figure out how I would like to utilize that money this week. Now, since I do the cash envelope system, these are all my envelopes that I have in my wallet and binder, and then this is the amount of money that I currently have in each envelope. And this kind of helps me determine where I need my money the most. And then all my bills are listed off to the left right here. If you are new, number one question I get, why is my rent so low? I live in low-income housing, and also rent in Wisconsin I feel like is a little bit more affordable compared to other states. All right, so $74.99 to work with. I am going to round that up to $75 for this week. And since it's such a tight paycheck, I am going to focus on the most important categories first, get those out of the way so I can kind of see what I have left. So I always go for gas first. I like to keep $100 in gas every single week. So I will need to add $27 into gas this week. So I currently have $48 left. And then I like to add $5 per week into my daughter's wallet for chore money. So I have $43 left, and then I also like to give my daughter $5 for fun money to go out with friends. All right, so there's $38 left over now. So now I can kind of work my way from the top. I usually give myself $20 every single week, and I like to put $20 into family fun as well. However, I do not have $40, so I only have $38 left. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure I don't need to add any money into any other categories. I currently have $117 in household right now. I don't really necessarily need anything. I have $10 in beauty. I don't need anything right now. And then for clothing, Savannah has $61 and I have $80. And I only add money in here when we have extra money, so I'm going to skip that. Savannah has $130 in her envelope. $50 is for sports, for future sports, and then $80 is for her ski club trip, $20 for food each trip, Food has $88 in there. I budget for $50 per week, so that is good as well. Vehicles currently has $1,189 in there. And then time off has $1,195 in there. And electronics has 0, dental and medical has 0, birthday has 0, gifts has 0, holidays has 0, vacation has $732 in vacation. I like to add $20 in there per week. However, it just doesn't make sense this week. So I think I am going to divvy it up between my envelope and family fun. So that would be $19, right? I hope so. Yeah. Ooh. All right, so I'm just going to recalculate the math and just make sure that the math is mathing. All right, $75. So that looks good to me. All right, I will go ahead and insert a clip of what I spent this week. I hope you guys enjoy. First up, I went to Aldi's. We were really craving some cookies, so I bought some fudge cookies. These are super good, has peanut butter in the middle. And then I did buy some chocolate chips to make chocolate chip cookies later on, and of course, white cheddar puffs. And I spent a total of $9.12. And then we went to Festival. I spent $12.30, and we had to pick up some donuts for my daughter for over winter break. And then we also picked out some special sodas that we typically don't have. And I found this Farmer's Brew butterscotch root beer, and I thought it was so cool because there's like a little tribute on the bottle. It says this special root beer was made to commemorate the Farmer's Brewery in Shawano, Wisconsin. In 1908, a group of farmers organized the brewery, survived Prohibition, and bottled beer until the 1940s. And then I spent $33.62 on a random Asian food box that I will show you in a minute here. This is just the company information, and they are a family-owned business, which is awesome. So I ended up buying a Asian snack box for $30 on the TikTok shop. So it's a total of 30 snacks for $30. I think it was a couple of extra dollars for shipping. But overall, like $1 per item, that's a pretty good price. I'm super excited to show you guys what I got. I have not looked inside yet. I just cut open the box. So let's take a look. All right, looks like there's just a note from the business and a card that says, please read. Let's see here. Okay, it's saying that the date on there might not be the expiration date, but like the date that it was made. So, all right. Ooh. Oh, I see a Pokemon thing that my daughter's probably going to be super excited about. All right. So yeah, I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to tell you what everything is, because obviously we're not going to be able to read it. So I might make a video like opening everything, but this is what I got. Obviously these, we know they are chips. Same with these. Oh my goodness, this is a bread. Oh, I've been wanting to try these like squishy breads so badly. Sorry if you hear my daughter in the background. She's playing video games right now. And I think like people like scare each other on there. She's like on VR. And it sounds like she's like scared. Ooh, this looks yummy. I feel like this is such a good deal. However, I wonder, seems like I got 2 of these. I wonder if they count, if they just put extras of these, or if there's 2 of them that count towards the 30, if that makes sense. I hope that's not the case because I think it's supposed to be different. Oh, looks like there's another one. I'll have to count everything up and just see, because that would kind of be a disappointment if there's supposed to be 30 different snacks in there and then there's duplicates of things. That would be pretty sad. Or if they counted those 3 as one. This is like some sort of like drink. Sorry, my ice maker was about to turn on. Ooh, another bread thing. These are so squishy. Ooh, and it looks like there's 2 drinks. I was really hoping that there was gonna be some drinks. Okay. Oh, another piece of candy. I think it is, actually. I don't know. Oops. This almost looks like a peach Coca-Cola or something. Ooh, I wonder what this is. That looks good. This looks like a mini lollipop. That looks cute. All right, that's everything, you guys. My daughter and I definitely devoured a lot of these snacks while we watched a movie in my bed. So my daughter ended up dropping $100 at GameStop. She technically spent $98.60. So the tumbler on the right-hand side over there was $21.98. And then the large sun and moon stuffed animal, they were $18.97 each. And then it was buy 2, get 2 free for the stuffed animals. So she got the smaller stuffed animals for free. Those were on clearance. One was $8 and one was $6. And then she spent $33.98 on the sun and moon backpack right there. And then, or the lounge fly, I think that's what it's called. And so yeah, that is everything she got. So if your kids are really into Five Nights at Freddy's, they have like a ton of stuff on clearance right now. Honestly, I was kind of surprised with what we got. Usually those lounge flies are like $50 to $60. And yeah, I was just really surprised that everything was only $98.60. So she did pretty good shopping wise. So overall, I spent $55.04 in total on groceries. I did go slightly over budget. I try to only spend $50 per week. And don't worry, we have a ton of nutritious food left over. I know it looks like I basically bought a whole bunch of junk, which I did, but we have lots of nutritious food at home. We also spent $19.18 on fast food, $26.20 on gas, and then I spent $25.19 on a video game, which I will insert a screenshot right now. I got No Man's Sky because it was on sale. Usually, you guys, this game is like $60. I got it for $25.19. And then this video game prompted something for me to buy, which I will show you guys next week. It is super cool. I'm so excited to show you. So in total this week, I spent $125.61, and then obviously my daughter spent the $98 at GameStop as well. Thanks so much for all the love and support on my channel. I really appreciate you guys. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.